Hello YouTubers, Hammy Technoid here, and we're back out in the living room with the TEAC C-3RX, and in this part I'm going to do a calibration, okay? And this little guy has become one of my good buddies, the C3RX. I'm going to nickname him C3PO. So this guy, I'm going to call him C3PO, and today is going to be his calibration day, okay? And looky there, I got the owner's manual. This is the original owner's manual because I am the original owner of this piece of equipment. My wife bought it for me back in 1984 as a Christmas present, and boy, was I happy. Oh man, was I happy that year. But anyway, yeah, there's a calibration procedure listed in the owner's manual, and there's a coarse calibration, and then there's a super fine calibration, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the super fine calibration, otherwise known as the Supercalifragilisticexpialibration. Yeah, on C3PO here. So C3PO is getting a Supercalifragilisticexpialibration. So anyway, what you do to start the calibration is you put the unit into record mode. Okay, so we got the record mode going, and then you go over here to the little switch that says test, and it's already in test. But what you do is you put it into test, and what that test mode does, it increases the sensitivity of the meters by about 20 decibels. So you can run a very low strength signal, and it will read it accurately at a higher meter reading. Okay, and the procedure for the super calibration is that, according to the owner's manual, you take a 400 hertz tone, and then you take a 12.5 kilohertz tone, and you play them onto the tape, adjust the bias so that the meter level is equal at both frequencies. Well, you know, this is the point where, yes, you really do need to have a frequency generator. But if you've got the internet, you've got one, because that's how I got my tones. I went to a website, I forget which one, but it's a tone generator website, and you just tell it what frequency you want, and it will let you record it. Okay, so I got a 400 hertz tone, and I got a 12.5 kilohertz tone. And what I did is I went into my SoundForge and I altered them until they were exactly the same level, dB-wise, strength-wise. Okay, so then what I did is I put it onto a little SD card into my MP3 player, and that's what I've got going into this guy now. I've got the MP3 player, which is also a WAV file player, which is what it is. It's a WAV file. And it's going to play, and I'm going to calibrate this guy with that tone. Okay, and just to give you a heads up, it's going to sound like a tone and then a blank spot. But the blank spot is also the tone, but it's such a high frequency that you can't hear it. At least over YouTube, you won't be able to. But the meters on the deck, C3PO, he can hear it. So I'm going to turn on the tone now. And there you can see the meter. Okay, and that is the source. So what we're looking at is the source, and I'm going to hit it into play, or record, I mean. And now we're going to switch to tape. Okay, and you see that's the point where I had it calibrated before, and that is what you're expected to do. You get the you get the levels so that they, at least when they're playing back on the tape, they're the same reading. And that's what we've got here. And how you do that is through these adjustments here. And just to show you what it is to do it, I'm going to put this one out of calibration and bring it back into. Okay, so I'm going to take that one out of calibration, and now see there it's okay at one tone, and then it's off at the other, and we don't want that. We want them to be equal. So as I turn the dial, it comes to a point where, oh, that's too high for that one. Okay, and it looks like that is right where it needs to be. They're just the same. And the other one, is that way as well. Okay, so that means that the calibration is perfect, and that's all the further you need to do. And once you do that, well, you need to make sure that the levels are right, but I've already done that. And to do that, you get in here with your level, these level guys here, these ones. Okay, and that also can be used with a test tone, but you can do that with music too, by listening by ear. It's not that critical. What the bias and the calibration does at this point is taking care of the frequency response. We want the tape to have good frequency response, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to shut this down. All right, I'm going to turn down the test tone and put it back to source, hit pause, hit stop, and from here, I'm going to make a demo. We're going to listen to it as it records after it was calibrated. Now that we've got the C3RX calibrated, it's time for a test recording run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch between source and tape, and ideally there should be no difference, no real discernible difference. You might hear a slight treble boost on the tape because of a bias adjustment or something, but indicative of the performance of the deck is going to be the clarity and the reality of the source compared to the tape. And I've got the DBX on. You can see that the DBX is on, the external DBX, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch between source and tape. And right now it's in source, so we're going to start recording right now. And there you are. And that is the demonstration for the playback and recording. And you heard that it was very similar, if not exactly sounding like the original source. And that's what you want when you've got your tape deck calibrated and ready to go like that. And to its credit, the tape that was recording on is over 30 years old. So, yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to shut this down. And thank you for watching. Until next time, see you later.